Welcome back. Simple welding project today. I want to build some flag brackets for the front of the outbuilding that I've been working on. I've got some black steel pipe from the farm store, 1 inch, and a piece of 16th inch plate that I have here. Keep in mind that every project, no matter how simple or complex, teaches us something. We learn a little bit, it gives us a little more experience, and it makes us a little better. So even something like flag brackets can be a lot of fun. Let's get started. First, I'm going to deal with this black pipe, and you can weld this black pipe. It's mild steel, so perfectly fine to weld. I did make sure and find a piece. It is 1 inch. It actually fits the flag post well with a little bit of clearance because I want room for paint. I'm going to be painting these later, and I'm going to use about half of this for the post, for the flag insert. So what I first want to do is just mark this half. These are 18-inch sections, so 9 inches. Then I'm going to use the chop saw, and I'm going to cut these in half, and I'm also going to cut the threads off the ends. I've got my 3 pipes cut down half the length, about 9 inches, plus another 1.5 inches. The next step is going to be to make the angle and cut the angle that I want my flag to hang at. Middle would be 45, but that's going to create more furl in the flag than I probably want. Probably going to want to be about 15 degrees. So a little bit of flag furl, but most of that should be showing. So I'm going to set my chop saw up to about 15 degrees. We need to clean up both ends that we cut, and also the angled end, the 15-degree angle on the point side. I want to grind that down so that when it fits flush against the flat piece of plate, there's a gap. And I need that gap because inevitably water is going to get down this pipe, and you want a relief, somewhere for that water to go and drain out. There is going to be dross on the inside of your pipe from the cut. You need to get that removed. I use a deburring bit in my air tool. You can also use it in your drill, but just get all that off the inside. You can also use this opportunity to open up the water relief cut a little bit. Next, I'm going to use this flap disc and clean these up really good. I'm going to TIG weld these, so I need the metal extra clean. All right, I've got the ends that I'm going to be welding to the faceplate cleaned up really well. Now it's time for the back plate. I have this 16th inch piece of plate, and I'm just going to use this 2x4. I know that my back plate has to go into a 2x4 on the outside of my metal building, so I'm going to lay this here and just make a line and mark 3 back plates. Then I don't need the 9-inch width that this piece of plate is, so I'm going to use this piece of pipe just to get a judge of a distance, make sure I have clearance on my bolt heads, and then I'm going to put 2 marks and just make a line. Now I have the 3 back plates marked, and you can absolutely use a grinder and a cutoff wheel. Just cut down the line and cut these out. I am going to use my plasma cutter. I'm going to drill 4 holes, and to mark those, I'm going to use my calipers. And I'm just going to give myself a little bit of offset, maybe a 1/2 inch, both directions. The lag bolts that I got at the farm store, an inch-long lag bolt, they're only about 1/2 inch. So if I give myself a 1/2 inch in both directions, that'll give myself enough clearance. I'm just going to use my calipers and drag on the edge. Use my calipers just under that bolt head to get an idea on what size hole I need to drill. And then I'll find a final bit that's just a little bit bigger. That way I know that my lag bolt will go through. I will drill these with 3 size bits, the small bit to start, secondary bit, and then my finished final bit. Always do that with metal and always use oil. I'll use a spring punch and go around and punch each of these areas. Those are looking pretty good, but now I have to clean everything, my bench, all of this. I need everything clean to be TIG welding. All right, got the welder set up, just doing a final clean here. And we're almost ready to tack these up. All right, I've been able to full weld, get these finished up. Could definitely use some practice, but I did make sure not to close the water drain gap. So just make sure when you're full welding, however you're welding, to not close that up. At this point, you could spray paint, take some sandpaper to it first, maybe primer it, sand it again, and then spray paint the bracket, and you're ready really to hang. I'm gonna powder coat them, and that's next step is sandblast. All right, these are looking pretty good. That's what a good sandblast will do. Not too bad. I'll get these hung and outgassed. And these get hung and outgassed. It brings the oils and other contaminants to the top of the metal. And once it gets outgassed and those get brought to the top, I'll sandblast them again really quickly just to pull off that last little bit and really get them ready for powder coat. All right, out of the sandblast, I blew them off with air again and hung them, wiped them all down with acetone. They're really ready for paint, looking pretty good. Can't fix my poor welding, but that's why we do these small projects, for practice. I've got the powder coat system hooked up here. I don't have a dedicated ground yet. That's still something I need to do. A lot of small things to tie up the new workshop, but we'll use what we have, and I'm gonna paint it with Pearl Sparkle, so a white with some sparkle in it from Prismatic Powders. All right, that's looking really good. These I'm going to slide into the oven. They'll be in there for about 15 minutes. They'll flow out. All that powder will actually turn into a liquid, and then it'll all bake and be cured. When I pull them out, once they cool down, they'll be good to go, and we'll take another look. All right, pull these out. They were 10 minutes at 400 degrees, but keep in mind that's the metal getting up, so it took about 18, 20 minutes for these, but they turned out really well. I think they'll last, the three of them will last my life out here on the property. And heavy duty, nice flag bracket. Let's go ahead and install one quick. And that's it. Something anyone can do with any kind of welder. Simple little project, only takes a little bit of time to complete. It's gonna make a real nice flag bracket, a nice flag out here on the front of my workshop. Even simple projects can teach us something. It only takes a little bit of time. I enjoyed it out here today, beautiful day. Keep after your goals, keep after the stuff that you want to accomplish, and I'll see you back here very soon.